Coming up, history in North Omaha was made as city council candidates faced off in the district's first ever primary debate.
Then, see how Omaha residents are gaining more high-speed internet options as new providers move in.
Later on, we break down the myth of unsocial homeschoolers.
All this and more on the Omaha News.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Smith.
And I'm Andrew Coughlin. No, you're not seeing double.
It's two Andrews, one desk. We're doubling down on today's stories. First up, a group of young people organized a primary debate for the busy pool of 9 candidates that are running for Omaha City Council District 2. Research shows that's likely never happened before. So here's what I learned. It's rare to see a debate for an Omaha City Council seat, especially during a primary election. While a couple other districts have candidates running unopposed, the race for District 2 is chock full of candidates. It justified lively debate on March 12th in North Omaha.
For too long, our neighborhoods now are being destroyed by these corporate, greedy people that are coming in.
8 of the 9 registered candidates in District 2 dueled over key issues presented by moderators and viewers. Absent due to a scheduling conflict was incumbent council member Juanita Johnson, who's running for re-election.
Her not being here to really defend her last 4 years, but also not being here to tell us what she'll do in the next 4 years is kind of disconcerting.
A packed room at Assembly of the Saints served as the debate setting, while over 1,000 people tuned in to watch the debate live on Facebook. They touched on the topics of affordable housing, homelessness, economic development, public safety, policing, public transportation, and opportunities for area youth.
We are 3 times more likely than any other place in the city to interact with the police officer. I think that's the issue. I'm one of the only candidates who will be pushing to reallocate funds from the police department.
One of the things we did was created this program of summer jobs for young people. Right now, over 9,000 people have been through that program.
The debate got quite passionate at times.
I grew up in Hilltop Projects. I don't know where y'all grew up at. And they replaced them not with black people, but with immigrants.
We caught up with Olivia Matthews, a UNO student and one of the event's 3 main organizers who are each under the age of 25.
Actions ease anxieties, and today is evident of that. The community is tired, and we're tired of promises being made, or like many of the candidates spoke to, rhetoric being used to dance around fact, which the fact of the matter is our voices are underrepresented, and I think that is changing.
The district has historically had lower turnout rates in city elections, but organizers hope events like this can engage the population in local politics.
I am just excited for the primary on April 1st. I think this debate has finalized who I am going to vote for.
The primary will narrow down the options for each city office to 2. Early voting is already in full swing as we approach the election day next Tuesday.
The Atlantic has released a full signal chat between senior national security officials, revealing that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared the exact timing of U.S. airstrikes on Yemen before American pilots were even in the air. The leak is raising serious concerns as many current and former officials say that kind of information is usually classified. The unclassified chat included Atlantic Editor-in-Chief Jeffrey Goldberg. The White House says that no classified material was shared, but questions remain after 2 days of intense scrutiny of the Trump administration's defense and intelligence leaders.
Internet speed and price, 2 things that can make or break your home connection. Omaha's residents have often been limited in their choices, but that's about to change. Reporter Henry Talaco explains how a new crop of service providers are kind of shaking things up.
A growing number of internet providers are setting up shop in Omaha. And for consumers, that means something they haven't always had: more competition.
The more companies that come into an area and want to provide service, I think the better.
For the Nebraska Public Service Commission, competition is important. This sentiment is also shared by MetroNet, one of the new incomers in the Omaha market.
When you provide that extra choice, it tends to mean faster speeds, lower prices for customers.
Behind me is the Millwork Commons Ashton building, where Google Fiber, one of Omaha's latest players in the internet service market, has set up their first Omaha office. The company is one of several ISPs moving into the market, promising fast speeds, low prices, and more options for consumers. Some Omaha residents are already making the switch to new providers. One user on Reddit wrote, "I had been paying $97 a month for Cox, but that went up to $132 a month in February. I'm paying $102 a month for Google Fiber with 2 gigabits up and down and no data limits." I reached out to Cox for comment, but they were unable to provide a response in time for publication. In today's world, internet access isn't just about streaming or scrolling. It's about survival in a digital age.
People rely on it for school, for work, for health, for keeping in touch with everybody. It's not something that's extra.
So Henry, that Reddit user you mentioned certainly saw a big difference switching from Cox, kind of highlighting how confusing billing can sometimes be with ISPs. So could you clarify for us how consumers can be sure they know what they're getting when they sign up for internet?
2024, all service providers are required to provide a broadband fax label, and that displays accurate prices, introductory rates, data allowances, and the speeds that they have. I did some digging through Cox's broadband fax label to verify the Reddit user's claims about his price increase, but I was not able to corroborate his increase in price that he claims to have received in January. According to Cox's website, that user's 500 megabit per second plan should have remained at $90 per month.
What are kind of some of the benefits too? I know we have all this competition moving in, but how are, your everyday people going to see benefits, surfing the web and whatnot?
Yeah, so the new companies are coming in, and many of the other players that have been in the market for a while, they are installing new fiber lines, and that differs from the traditional copper wires that most ISPs had been using. The difference is that copper wiring transfers your data through electrical pulses, whereas fiber is through light, and light obviously travels very fast. So most people are going to find that their speeds are generally going to be faster and more reliable.
Awesome. Thanks kind of for that tech update, Henry. Coming up after the break, a new bill could bring mobile sports betting to Nebraska, raising both revenue and concerns about gambling addiction.
Create. Perform. Communicate. College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha's bookstore is home to more than books. The UNO bookstore accommodates all students' needs with phone and laptop repairs at the iFix UNO station or free residence hall delivery. The bookstore, located in the Milevale Student Center, is full of Maverick merchandise. Find sweatshirts for chilly Nebraska days or cozy UNO mugs for every coffee fix. Shop anytime at unobookstore.com.
3,000 student athletes from 9 institutions, competing in 19 sports for national prominence, striving for excellence in academics and athletics, seeking to become champions. Nearly 100,000 students and more than 800,000 alumni celebrate Summit League student athletes and their rise to reach the summit. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders strive to reach the summit today.
Somebody punch the camera. Good curling.
A new bill in the unicameral is aiming to shake up Nebraska's gambling laws. Reporter Ashton Kay has the story.
A bill introduced into the Nebraska legislature would legalize mobile gambling and online sports betting. chances are you have heard of one of the dozens of sports betting apps such as FanDuel, PrizePicks, or DraftKings that have blown up over the past few years. According to the American Gaming Association, the sports betting industry saw a record $13.7 billion in revenue in 2024. One of the concerns about mobile gambling is the potential for addiction risk. Jessica McDonald is the Marketing and Communications Specialist for the Nebraska Commission on Problem Gambling. She says that the concerns about the addiction risk of mobile gambling comes from its accessibility.
Now, in order to bet on a sporting event, you have to go to a casino. You have to leave your couch, your house, and go to a place to place that bet, to run those parlays. Whereas when you do it mobily, you can do it, it's in the palm of your hand all the time.
The state of Nebraska offers free resources for problem gambling. A large portion of the funding for these resources comes from the taxes on casinos and other forms of gambling.
Bill Schreiner, who has experience in sports betting in Nebraska, says that casinos and mobile gambling companies have ways of making sure that these taxes don't affect their profits.
So like right now, you go over to the kiosk and you can put a bet for minus 110. $110 wins you $100, right? Well, what they could do is they could make the juice 115 to pay for that tax to put it back into the system of the state. So now you have to put $115 to win 100. So online, they would just juice it up 5.
If mobile sports betting became legal in Nebraska, apps like FanDuel and PrizePicks would have to pay these same taxes. However, there's no guarantee that the amount they pay would be equivalent to the amount that they specifically contribute to problem gambling. For the Omaha News, I'm Ashton Kay.
Legislature has had public hearings for this bill, and it's expected to be voted on within this legislative session.
The Nebraska Science Festival has been happening each year since 2013. And this spring, there's a lot more to look forward to, with events running for the entire month of April. But why is the festival so important for Omaha?
Every April, the Nebraska Science Festival turns classrooms inside out, bringing science into Omaha. And what started more than a decade ago is now a statewide celebration of curiosity, creativity, and community.
So the festival started back in 2013, and the goal was just to get kids, teens, adults, seniors just interested and engaged in science in like a different way, a unique way, instead of just going to a classroom.
And in a time when STEM careers are growing fast, but not always accessible, the festival works to break those barriers. From interactive exhibits to surprising science and everyday things, it's all about making STEM feel possible for everyone.
Seeing science every day and things they maybe wouldn't think science was a part of, like food or drink or different activities.
Sometimes I think science is overwhelming, or people don't think they're smart enough, or they have to know a lot about a subject. So by having the events that the Nebraska Science Festival has, I think it's an approachable way for families, and it's inclusive too.
Events will take place across Nebraska throughout April, giving people of all ages a chance to explore science in everyday settings. This was Jade Thornton with the Omaha News.
For a more full detailed schedule, go online to the Nebraska Science Festival website. Back to you, Andrew and Andrew.
Thank you, Jade. After the break, see how women's participation in the construction industry is on the rise as Omaha NAWIC chapter expands and supports opportunities.
There seems to be like this gathering right here of really great minds and really great ideas.
I think it's a great moment, to teach a UNO student.
Being here, I get like a jump start on my journalism career.
I found a lot of people that are interested in like the same things as me.
Sort of a lifetime changing career for me and the best way it could happen.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime.
Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it.
Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
The 13th Floor magazine is a student-run campus literary journal that features poetry, creative nonfiction, fiction, microfiction, screenplay, and visual art from UNO students, alumni, faculty, and staff. It is produced by the students in the Writers' Workshop Literary Magazine course. New issues of the magazine are published every spring with a public launch party to celebrate its release.
Welcome to Spotlight Omaha, your front row seat to the stories that shape our city. From the latest local headlines to hidden gems, inspiring people, and groundbreaking innovations, we shine a light on what makes Omaha truly special. Whether it's community voices, business breakthroughs, or cultural highlights, we've got it all covered. So sit back, stay tuned, and let's dive into the heart of the metro. Good afternoon, I'm Abigail Gosek. The number of women joining the construction industry continues to grow. According to the United States Department of Commerce, 1 in 7 job listings is being filled by women. Join me as I tell you about the National Association of Women in Construction in Omaha. 1.2 million women, 14% of total construction employees, are currently working in the construction industry in the United States, according to ConExpo ConAg. The National Association of Women in Construction, or NAWIC, has been supporting women's growth in the industry for nearly 70 years. NAWIC's Greater Omaha chapter accepts women from all backgrounds in construction. NAWIC members are able to expand their professional network, gain further experience through construction industry projects, and become involved in the local community. A push to employ more women within the construction industry has been ongoing, with the United States Department of Commerce announcing the Million Women in Construction Community Pledge in 2024. NAWIC emphasizes educational opportunities and professional development for members. The association provides instruction and skills useful for the industry. Tori De Jesus, NAWIC Greater Omaha Chapter President, says the association also provides mentorship opportunities for local students.
Another thing that we like to focus on is mentorship, building that connection so that students know what they're getting into when they're about to join the field.
NAWIC provides scholarships for college students through the NAWIC Founders Scholarship Foundation. The NAWIC Greater Omaha chapter also provides a scholarships through Metropolitan Community College, the University of Nebraska, and Southwest Community College. Catherine Lynch, construction coordinator and project manager at Northern Natural Gas, says there is plenty of opportunity within the construction field for women.
There's nothing out there that in the construction management or in construction that a woman can't do. So I would say go for it. I think it's something to be extremely proud of.
The Greater Omaha chapter is currently accepting student members for a $25 fee. To learn more, you can visit nawicomaha.org. The Omaha Mavericks men's basketball team are coming off a historic season, one in which saw the program's first regular season conference title in Division I, as well as their first conference title in Division I, and finally the first ever March Madness tournament berth. On Sunday, March 16th, during the selection show, Omaha was selected as the 15th seed in the West Region set to take on the 2nd seed St. John's in Providence, Rhode Island. While the team flew out to Rhode Island, the Maverick Maniacs took a 22-hour bus ride from Omaha to Providence. The charter bus stacked with roughly 50 students left Omaha Tuesday at 7 a.m., traveling 14 hours to Pennsylvania. For the night before, they finished the final 8 hours on Wednesday, arriving in Providence around 8 p.m. Wednesday evening. Sophomore student and Maverick Maniac Tim Hughes said it was an amazing experience to be able to support my school on their first ever tournament appearance for basketball. Being able to compete at this level and be there for it made it really feel like me and my peers were part of something special. Turning to the game Thursday evening, Omaha took on St. John's, led by legendary head coach Rick Pitino in his second season with the Johnnies program. The Mavericks came out hot, early scoring 7 straight before St. John's was forced to call a timeout, igniting the Maniacs in Maverick faithful early. The two teams went back and forth in the first half, with St. John's leading by 5, 33-28 at the half. St. John's would come out in the second half and assume control, outscoring Omaha 50-25 in the second, ending Omaha's season with an 83-53 defeat. The transfer portal officially opened on Monday. The transfer portal officially opened on Monday. Earlier today, Omaha stars J.J. White and Markell Sutton both officially entered their names in the portal. That's a wrap for this edition of Spotlight Omaha. Thanks for joining us as we shine a light on the people, places, and stories that make our city one of a kind. Be sure to stay connected with us for more updates. Keep exploring, keep engaging, and keep celebrating all that Omaha has to offer. Tune in next week for more.
You are a maverick. You stand ready to change the world. You are an innovator with bold ideas and a vision for the future. You are determined to turn your dreams into reality. You are a leader, committed to making a difference. With Omaha as your campus, you're at the center of it all. Here at UNO, you dare to dream, to innovate, to lead, to shape a brighter future. You are a maverick.
Coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faded press to a full.
How well do homeschoolers socialize? It's a question that often sparks debate, especially in Nebraska, where homeschooling has grown steadily over the past decade. According to the Nebraska Department of Education, over 15,000 students were homeschooled in the state last year. While some worry that homeschooling limits social development, recent research and personal stories suggest otherwise. Grace Hustetler has more on how homeschooled students are finding meaningful ways to connect and thrive in and out of the classroom.
There's a common misconception that homeschooled students lack opportunities to socialize. However, studies suggest that they socialize just as well as their public school peers. But this could not be accomplished just at home. Emma Gardner, a UNO graduate working at Methodist, was homeschooled at a young age due to health issues. During high school, she took Metro classes through the College Now program for credit. She says this enabled her independent learning.
You kind of are thrown into college and adult learning while you're still 16.
Homeschooling is all about the flexibility of a student's schedule. So what happens when a homeschooler attends a public school?
Mary Lincoln, a retired school counselor from the Lewis and Clark Middle School, says some of the previously homeschooled students got into the wrong crowd, but those that found the right one did just fine.
Kids seem to find their niche. And I don't think it matters whether they were homeschooled or not.
Lincoln also says it helped that these students had outlets for social activities, such as sports, church, or co-op groups.
There were social interactions, so they weren't awkward.
Homeschooling may follow a different path, but it can lead to the same social and academic success as seen in students like Gardner.
I do think it's a good thing. I think it helps you develop a lot of social skills and connections and stuff that you might not get if you just homeschool.
For the Omaha News, I'm Grace Hufstetler.
A 2023 study from the Harvard Kennedy School found that homeschooled students often build strong social networks through community groups, sports, and dual enrollment programs. And one study by the University of Oklahoma, sampling over 800,000 students, showed that homeschoolers outperformed their peers on the SAT and had higher first-year college GPAs.
A United Airlines flight bound for China made an unexpected return to the U.S. over the weekend after one of the pilots forgot their passport. Flight 198 was on its way from Los Angeles to Shanghai, but diverted to San Francisco instead. United says the pilot didn't have their passport, and a news crew was brought in to continue the trip later that evening. The airline says that passengers were given meal vouchers and compensations, though it's unclear how much was offered. The flight had 257 passengers and 13 crew members on board. One frustrated passenger called the delay completely unacceptable in a post on social media.
It turns out the old saying about cats having 9 lives might just be true, especially true for one lucky feline in California. A Maine Coon named Aggie was recently feared dead after the Palisades wildfire destroyed her family's home in Los Angeles nearly 2 months ago. But her owner, 82-year-old Catherine Kiefer, never gave up hope. Over the weekend, that hope turned into joy. The West LA Animal Shelter called with amazing news. Aggie had been found. A TikTok video of their emotional reunion posted by Kiefer's daughter showed tears streaming down Catherine's face as Aggie curls up in her arms. The clip has already received more than 1 million likes.
Aw, that is such a sweet story, Andrew. It's always good to hear a happy ending.
It is indeed. I was really like, I have a cat myself, and I'm like, if she ran away, I really hope she would come back, but you never know. So thank you for joining us today. Tune in next week for more news and entertainment in the Heartland.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at the UNO the Omaha News, or find our website for even more news stories at unomahanews.com.
From both of us at UNO Television, thanks for watching.